It is trending everywhere online. When your phone battery shows by, you are sure to find relaxing snowy camping videos. That is just fooling the kids. I actually think, the moment your phone battery hits born, you will definitely find me. Alright, enough talk. Let us dive into Turai, spedtime Stasi. A man is crawling with the snow on Kiao Mount. That is right, he is camping enthusiast Duke. He has a wooden shelter in the snow. He traveled through great hardships to get here, just to experience something different from ordinary wilderness survival. The wooden shelter is covered in thick, heavy snow. It looks quite unique. But it is surprisingly sturdy. In such harsh conditions, it still stands firm in the snow. Duke checked the condition of the shelter. He went inside without hesitation. He first brought his camping gear back into the cabin. Several large windows keep the cabin bright. Duke came back outside, picked up a shovel, and started clearing the entrance snow. The heavy snow keeps falling. If the entrance is not cleared, the door will get stuck. Duke piled the snow off to the side. He took water tune and swept the snow off the windows. The small bench was also swept clean. Duke tapped the snow off his boots, opened the door and went back inside. Outside, the blizzard rages on. Back inside the cabin, Duke shook the snow off his clothes. He got ready to chop some firewood to light the indoor fireplace. In this freezing cold environment, even took the shelter as wood. The indoor temperature is unbearable. At the entrance, Duke showed off few cool moves, quickly chopping the wood into pieces, and carried them all inside. To corner, fireplace looks like a water vat, but once you open the lid to load it, it becomes a heater. That warms up the zomb. Duke lit the firewood. The water reserve nearby had already frozen. As the fireplace heats up, the zom will soon be warm and cozy. The ice on the chimney will soon melt. Duke swept the dust off the floor and cleared it all outside. The fireplace kept burning. The cabin was now clean and tidy. Smoke rising adds a cozy toke. Duke sat by the warm fireplace, admiring the new stove lid. He leaned in to warm his red hands. Just like that, his hands warmed up quickly. He took a kettle outside and filled it with fresh snow. He brought it back to melt and boil. Duke placed the kettle on the fireplace. The snow kept falling outside. The snowy wilderness is quiet and cold, a sharp contrast to the warm cabin. Duke prepared some ingredients at the table, has started heating oil in a pan, sauteing the chopped tomatoes. At the same time, he chopped onions, nutritious vegetables, went into the pan for a stir-fry, while waiting for the meal to cook. Duke put on gloves and went outside. He prepares to remove the meter-thick snow, clearing it away to lighten the load on the tin roof. As the heavy snow slides off to shelter, as roof is finally exposed, took the roof looks tin. It is actually quite sturdy. Its pressure resistance is truly impressive. After Duke finishes clearing the snow, the tomatoes in the pot release their juices. He cracks in a few eggs, stirring them with his favorite cheese. Even with his basic skittles, it feels just right. Duke toasts 3 slices of bread. The melted snow in the kettle boils. He fills a large metal mouf. Duke places his dinner on the table. He lights a kerosene lamp on the sill. He sits warm, cozy and atmospheric shelter, and begins to eat heartily. It is dark outside. Inside the bright cabin, Duke savors his delicious meal. Rocks look crystal clear in the light. Duke takes out a banana, adds chocolate, and heats it by the fire. Soft bananas mixed with melted chocolate. Even for Taz who dislike sweets, it is a silent delight. The cabin looks extra cozy in the snow. After eating his fill, Duke lays his sleeping bucket, takes off his heavy gear, lings on in the warm bed, head lifts off peacefully by the lamplight. This 1 meter deep snow camping trip. A pipe drips water in the frozen landscape. It looks truly charming. Heavy snow falls from the ski. Duke, a fan of snow camping, walks across the deep snow. He is heading to his hillside shelter. To spend a pleasant night. Walking in deep snow is exhausting, so he uses a shovel to help him walk. A grand and exquisite shelter appears in the frame. Duke has reached his destination. He tries to open the wooden door, but it is blocked by heavy snow. He uses his shovel to clear the snow from the entrance, and successfully opens the door. He brushes the snow off his boots, and enters the cabin. The cabin is safe under the hill, buried be a meter of snow. The glass panel are a unique feature, making the interior much brighter. Inside, Duke looks around at everything, so firm that everything is intact. He opens the fireplace door, clears out the old ashes. Duke brushes the snow off his pack, and takes out a lighter, although the cabin is shielded. Because it is mostly glass, the temperature is same as outside. So he lights the fireplace first, with the fire providing warmth. The cabin will soon be cozy. Heavy snow outside, winds are howling. The shelter remains very safe. With the fireplace heating the room, Duke is camping trip is secure. He takes some wood at the entrance, using the tools. Cut them to the same length as the fireplace. He needs enough firewood to keep the fireplace burning brightly. Even with a blizzard blowing outside, the indoors remains unaffected. He takes ingredients out of his barrage, heating oil in a pan over coals, frying sausages until they are charred and fragrant. Duke puts the fried sausage into a flatbread, a simple and delicious meal. Duke sits by the warm fireplace, eating the filling flatbread, while sipping on frozen milk. After a simple meal, the storm continues to rage outside. Duke takes out a plastic basin, cleaning out the ice from the bottom. He takes the basin outdoors. Duke uses a shovel along the slope to clear a small path. The tall slope makes the shelter look tiny. Duke's purpose for clearing the path is to go sledding. He sits inside the plastic basin, sliding down the path he cleared. But the snow is softer like cut-on candy, making it hard to slide. But Duke enjoys it fully. He just wants to immerse himself in the snow. The snow is already falling heavily. It gets even heavier as the day ends. The blizzard forces Duke back inside. Having had his fun, Duke wipes snow off the table. He pulls a light from his pack and hangs it. He lights a kerosene lamp on the table to make the cabin feel more cozy. The shelter feels incredibly warm in the dim light. Flocks look crystal clear against the glass. The beautiful view is mesmerizing. Duke scoops up fresh snow, brings it back indoor, melts and boils it over the fire. He warms himself while waiting for the water. He adds tea leaves to the boiling water. Duke makes himself a cup of hot tea. He steps into the snow, sipping the steaming tea, while admiring the snowy scenery. Such cozy winter camping. He really hit the jackpot. With this much snow, he worried the shelter might be buried overnight, but Duke isn't worried at all. He returns to fill the fireplace with logs. Sitting on his spacious bed, he takes out his own sleeping bag. Duke brushes the snow off his boots, takes them off, and spreads out the sleeping bag. Finally, he climbs into the warm bag. He puts on thick gloves. Bundling up, he lies on, falling into a peaceful sleep by the fire. Good times always fly by, even with such a mesmerizing view. The unconventional adventurer went into the mountains during a blizzard. He walks across the vast desert to find a safe campsite. Boozing a shelter, winter camping, tired walking. Aid. Nix from a stream to stay alive. Refreshed, he continues his journey. He crosses mountains and streams, arriving at a rock slope. A massive boulder catches his eye. He climbs halfway up the slope, reaching the bottom of the rock. He examines the inside of the formation. It truly is unique, a natural cave. Just enough for one person to live in. Sometimes you find what you need by chance. It came without any effort. After finding the campsite, Lifu sets on his backpack. He began building his shelter. First, he cleared some stones from the entrance. He widened the site to 2 meters. This made it easy to move, and gave the shelter a wide view. Lifuzine, to feel tired at all. Moving toes. Huge rocks felt like child splay. Once he cleared the stones from the entrance, the site became spacious instantly, although the cave fit one person. Lifu found the sandy floor, easy to clear away. To make his home more affordable, he decided to dig gone, about 50 centimeters deep. He filled the entrance with the soil. The space inside expanded, and the entrance became much more level. In a corner of the cave, Lifu prepared to build a fireplace. He cleared the sand from the gap. Ten brought back several square stones. He stacked them into the space. A square fireplace was quickly built in the corner. Standing at the level entrance, Lifu took the Z wood and cut it to size. He neatly stacked it by the fireplace. He chopped some logs into blocks and filled the fireplace with smaller ticks. Adding the Z wood, a flick of his lighter ignited the first fire. Perhaps because there was no chimney, the cave filled up with wisps of smoke. The fire grew steadily brighter. Lifu sat by the warmth, seeing his blood-stained glove. With the fire burning, the chilly stone cave became cozy and warm. Lifu felt the opening was too big, so he gathered more stones and built up the side wall, making the wall solid. Still, air leaked with the gap. Lifu used sand to seal them. It immediately solved the problem. He did the same for the other side, stacking large stones up he. As smoke drifted out to the entrance, but Lifu's in to mind at all. He was focused on the shelter. With both walls finished, the cave entrance looked refined. Lifu brought his gear inside. He laid on a moisture mat. Sitting by the warm fire, he pulled out his sleeping bag and laid it on the mat. The stone shelter was finally complete. After organizing the space, he lay on his comfortable bed. He took a quick nap, finally recovering the energy he had spent. Upon waking, the hut felt stiflingly hot. He took off his heavy coat, sat cross-legged by the fire, and took what his water bottle to refill his canteen. The embers in the fireplace glow bright red. He uses a stick to level what the coals. A kettle is placed over the fire to boil. He looks to the cave entrance, although it is still lightly snowing outside. He has a warm and comfortable shelter. He relaxes inside the spacious stone cave. He brews a hot cup of tea for himself. As night falls, he starts to feel hungry. He sets up a pot over the fire. Then he opens a can of beef. He heats it in the pot over the coals. Soon a hot and savory meal is ready to eat. Outside, the heavy snow keeps falling. Inside, he is sweating from the warm meal. A bite of beef tea. It feels incredibly comfortable. He adds a hearty flatbread to the meal. This winter camping life is simply wonderful. Inside the cozy shelter, he enjoys his delicious meal. Feeling full and sleepy, he crawls into his warm sleeping bag next to the glowing fireplace. He peacefully drifts off to sleep. The long winter in Freljord has finally ended. The snow on the ground is slowly melting. Survival expert Risen sets out once again. He arrives in the vibrant, lively forest. He plans to build a shelter in this clearing and improve his wilderness survival skills. He ties a wooden stake to a rope. He marks a circle for the foundation. The circular foundation is just large enough for him to lie on. Risen starts collecting the wood needed for the shelter. The winter storms crushed many small trees. Gathering wood is quite easy. He uses zop to bundle the collected sticks to zuk. He stands them in a cone shape on the base. The interlocking sticks are sturdy and strong. Risen keeps adding more sticks to the frame. He processes the wood well. This makes the conical frame much more durable. Risen gathers more wood from the area, cutting them to the same length. Then he places them on the frame 1by1. Soon, the shelter starts to look like a home. Risen sits inside, thinking about the next steps. He remembers there is plenty of bark nearby, covering the frame with bark would be a very efficient move. Risen gets straight to work. He takes a thick tarp and gathers all the bark together. He makes several trips to the campsite. He layers the bark over the frame. It makes the shelter windproof and warm. It blends the shelter into the forest. No one passing by would ever notice it. He brings back piles of bark. He carefully lines it along the structure. He He secures the bark with zop to prevent it falling, with the zop wrapped around it. To shelter feels solid and reliable. Our rustic, con-shaped shelter stands ready. Getting started, Risen chops more wood on the side. To crisp chopping echoes with bird songs. He carries the wood back into the shelter. He uses tor logs as a base. He lays straight sticks across the top. A spacious wooden bed is now complete. He just needs to fix the sticks in place. Leaning on it feels incredibly skokable. Even though Risen is in his 30s. His stamina is top-notch. He stays busy, working inside and notched the wooden sticks with a chisel at the reserved entrance. He assembled a square door frame. To joints were secured by hammering in wooden picks. He collected tree bark used as a tarp hung over the frame, creating a curtain to shield him from the elements. Risen sealed the gaps above the frame with bark. He hung a light inside the hut, making the small cabin much brighter. Risen sat by the entrance and lit a kerosene lamp, hanging it from the ceiling of the shelter. With that, the bark bolt shelter was now complete. Risen went back inside and brought Woda's stove, positioning it in the center of the zom. With the stove to regulate the temperature, Risen could spend his wilderness stay in Fomofferty. The gaps in the roof structure allow smoke to escape safely outside. Sawhead does not need to worry about smoke buildup before bullsing the shelter. Risen had found a thick tree. He cut a small knot into the trunk and tied a water bottle to the bark. To sap dripping from the tree filled the bottle. Solving his drinking water needs in the wild. Once everything in the shelter was settled, Risen went back to the tree. The bottle was nearly full. Risen removed the bottle from the trunk and took a refreshing drink. He wondered what the tree sap would actually taste like. After replenishing his source of life, Risen returned to the camp and sorted the collected wood into sizes suitable for the stove. He stacked the cut firewood neatly next to the stove and split it with a sharp axe. Although the weather was warming up, the melting snow kept the jungle temperature very low. Risen lit the installed stove. The roaring fire made the hut warm and cozy. A bright moon hung over the treetops, a truly beautiful sight. Risen brought his camping gear inside. The stove had warmed the hut nicely. Risen hung a moisture barrier by the wooden bed. He inflated an air mattress, laid on the bed, finally adding a plaid sheet. The rustic shelter stood out magnificently against the night sky. Risen sat in his warm, somofo bowl. He prepared his meal. He needed some roux and pan-fried it. He also opened a delicious can of beef. The flatbread turned golden and crispy. The outdoor moonlight was intoxicating. Inside, Risen combined the flatbread with the heated beef and ate his meal onto the portable bed. Smoke trailed out to the top of the shelter, humescence to the dark, quiet campsite. Fed and satisfied, Risen fell asleep on his bed. A loud noise in the night startled him awake. It was just a wild boar foraging nearby. It posed no danger to Risen. Sawhe went back to sleep peacefully. It was the next morning. Risen relit the stove. He stepped outside the stretch, to silent jungle filled with birdsong and cicadas. Risen rolled up the door curtain, packed his bagus inside, and began his long journey home.